Most airlines have retired the Boeing 747, but Lufthansa, they're still flying it like it's 1970. This plane is huge, expensive, and burns more fuel than almost anything in the sky. So why are they keeping it? Today, we're going to uncover the surprising reasons this queen of the skies is still ruling. And trust me, it's not what you think. The Boeing 747 completely changed air travel when it first came out in the late 1960s. Before it, most planes were smaller, carried fewer people, and had to stop multiple times for refueling on long trips. The 747 was like a spaceship compared to them. It could carry hundreds of passengers, fly for hours without stopping, and make long-distance travel much cheaper. It wasn't just a plane. It was a symbol of the new, exciting age of global travel. Lufthansa saw that potential early on. They became one of the first airlines to buy the 747 in 1970, and it instantly became their pride and joy. Over the years, they flew almost every version of it, from the earliest 747-100 model to the latest 747-8, which they still fly today. While other airlines treated the 747 as just another tool to make money, Lufthansa built a deep relationship with it. This was the plane that carried millions of Germans on family trips, business journeys, and holiday adventures to every corner of the world. During the Cold War, it also had a deeper meaning. It represented West Germany's ability to connect with the rest of the world and show off its engineering and economic strength. Seeing a Lufthansa 747 at an airport became a point of pride, not just for the airline, but for the country too. But history alone doesn't keep a massive jet in the skies. So what's the real money-making reason Lufthansa still flies this beast? If you look purely at numbers, the Boeing 747 doesn't seem like the smartest choice today. It's big, heavy, and burns more fuel than newer planes like the Airbus A350 or Boeing 787. But Lufthansa isn't flying the old fuel-guzzling versions. They're mostly using the 747-8, the latest and most efficient model of the 747 family. While it's still not as fuel-friendly as the newest twin-engine jets, it's a big improvement over the older versions, and it can compete surprisingly well on certain routes. One of the biggest reasons it works for Lufthansa is simple: seat count. The 747-8 can carry over 360 passengers in Lufthansa's layout, and when the demand is high, that's a lot of paying customers on a single flight. On busy long-haul routes like Frankfurt to New York, Los Angeles, or Shanghai, they can easily fill the plane, especially in premium cabins like business and first class. These premium seats bring in way more money per passenger than economy seats, so when those upper deck business class sections are full, the flight becomes much more profitable. During peak travel seasons like summer holidays, Christmas, or big events, demand often shoots up. Ticket prices or turn away passengers. The 747 solves that problem because it lets them carry more people without adding extra flights. This is especially useful in airports with strict slot limits, where airlines can't just add more departures whenever they want. By flying one large plane instead of two smaller ones, Lufthansa saves on crew costs, landing fees, and scheduling headaches. But it's not just about numbers. Lufthansa actually has a genius fleet strategy behind this. And trust me, it's not what most airlines are doing. They operate a variety of long-haul aircraft: the Airbus A350, Boeing 787, Airbus A380, and the Boeing 747. This might seem complicated, but it actually gives them a lot of flexibility. They can choose the right plane for the right route, instead of forcing one model to fit every situation. In this setup, the 747 plays a very specific role. It's not for every route, but for high-demand, long-distance destinations with limited airport slots, it's perfect. These are routes where they know they can fill a big plane with passengers and cargo, and where running smaller planes would mean losing out on revenue. The 747 also works well for markets that expect a premium product, since its upper-deck business class and spacious cabins make it a selling point. Another important factor is the age of Lufthansa's 747 fleet. While some airlines are flying older, 20-30-year-old 747s that cost a lot to maintain, Lufthansa's 747-8s are relatively young. Many were delivered in the 2010s. This means they have plenty of flying years left before they become too expensive to operate. Instead of rushing to replace them with new planes that cost billions, Lufthansa can keep using these jets for at least another decade without major problems. Okay, so they're smart with how they use it. But here's the thing. People don't just fly a 747 for the route. They fly it for the experience. And this is where Lufthansa really wins. One of the coolest things about the 747-8 is its upper deck. Instead of cramming it with more economy seats, Lufthansa uses it for business class, giving it a quiet, almost private feel. Passengers up there feel like they're in a separate mini-plane, away from the main cabin noise. That's a rare luxury in modern air travel, where most planes feel exactly the same. The iconic hump at the front of the plane also makes it instantly recognizable. Sitting in a 747 gives you that wow factor. You know you're on something special. The ride itself is also incredibly smooth because the aircraft is heavy and stable, making turbulence feel less intense. For long-haul travelers, especially those in premium seats, these details matter a lot. Flying isn't just about getting from A to B. It's about how comfortable and enjoyable the journey is. That's free marketing for the airline. The plane itself is a selling point. For business and first-class travelers, this unique experience can help justify paying higher ticket prices, which makes those flights more profitable for Lufthansa. But the 747 isn't just a pretty face. It's got serious technical and operational superpowers that keep it in the game. One major difference is that it has 4 engines. This gives it extra safety margins for certain long overwater flights where twin-engine planes have to follow stricter rules and alternate routes in case of an engine failure. With the 747, Lufthansa can take more direct paths, saving time and fuel on certain trips. Its range is another big plus. The 747 can fly incredibly long distances without needing to stop, even when carrying a full load of passengers and cargo. Many twin-engine planes can also do this now, but the 747 still has an edge when it comes to carrying large payloads over long distances without restrictions. Cargo is a huge advantage too. Even on passenger flights, the 747's belly has room for massive amounts of freight. For Lufthansa, this means they can make extra money from shipping goods while also carrying passengers. On some routes, the cargo revenue is almost as important as ticket sales. During the pandemic, when passenger numbers dropped, but cargo demand went up, Lufthansa even used 747 passenger planes to carry only freight, filling the main cabin with boxes. The 747 also has strong performance in challenging conditions. At high-altitude airports like Johannesburg or in hot climates like Dubai, heavy planes can struggle to take off at full capacity. But the 747's powerful engines and design allow it to handle these situations better than some modern twin jets. This flexibility means Lufthansa can send the 747 to places that might be tricky for other aircraft types, while still making money from both passengers and freight. It's not just about nostalgia or branding. The 747 has real operational strengths that make it a valuable tool in Lufthansa's fleet. Alright, so it's a technical beast, but there's another layer to this, and it's all about image. When a Lufthansa 747 lands somewhere, it's making more than just a flight. It's making a statement. For Germany, Lufthansa isn't just an airline. It's a flying symbol of the country. When you see a Lufthansa 747 land in another country, it's not just a big plane touching down, it's a statement. The 747 is instantly recognizable because of its size, its famous hump, and its history. It's the kind of aircraft that turns heads at any airport. When it arrives, it gives off a feeling of power, prestige, and professionalism. That's exactly the kind of image a country like Germany wants to project to the world. This is especially important during big global events like state visits, sporting tournaments, or cultural exhibitions. Imagine a German delegation arriving in a small, generic plane versus stepping off a massive,
iconic 747. The second one just feels more impressive and official.
Even though Lufthansa is a commercial airline and not a government service, the image of their 747s benefits Germany's reputation. It shows that the country still has the ambition and ability to operate such a large, sophisticated aircraft. This is also why many governments, including the United States, have chosen the 747 for their VIP fleets in the past. It's not only practical, it's symbolic. The aircraft itself becomes a moving representation of the nation's influence and status. When Lufthansa flies a 747, they're indirectly reinforcing Germany's global presence. On top of that, Lufthansa positions itself as a premium, globally respected carrier. The 747 fits perfectly into that brand image. It says, "We can fly the best, we can fly the biggest, and we can do it with style."
Passengers notice this too, especially in business and first class. Even if they don't consciously think about national branding, they feel the pride and prestige of flying on such a famous plane. One of the biggest challenges for any airline is getting enough takeoff and landing slots at major airports. Slots are like golden tickets. Without them, you can't add flights, no matter how much demand there is. Airports like New York JFK, London Heathrow, and Hong Kong are so busy that getting a new slot is almost impossible. This is where the Boeing 747 is a lifesaver for Lufthansa. Instead of trying to run 2 or 3 smaller planes on the same route, they can use one big 747 to carry everyone at once. That way, they maximize the number of passengers per slot. It's a smart way to grow capacity without actually adding more flights. This strategy also saves money. Operating one large plane with one crew is cheaper than running 2 smaller planes with 2 crews. It also means less congestion at the airport gates and fewer flights to manage in the schedule. For high-demand routes, especially those that are slot-restricted, this is the most efficient option available. Some routes have an extra challenge. Not only are the slots limited, but the demand is high for both passengers and cargo. The 747 solves this problem perfectly. It can carry hundreds of people, plus a huge amount of freight in one trip. This is something smaller, modern planes like the Boeing 787 or Airbus A350 can't match in a single flight. There's also a reliability factor. By running one large aircraft instead of multiple smaller ones, Lufthansa reduces the risk of delays from having too many flights. If you can carry 350 people in one go, instead of splitting them across 2 planes, it's simply more efficient in both time and resources. And every big airline has that one special aircraft that feels like the face of the company. It's the one they show in commercials, the one they use for special occasions, and the one most people picture when they think of that airline. For Lufthansa, that aircraft is the Boeing 747-8. Even though they fly many other planes, the 747 is the one that really stands out in their brand. They use it in their promotional videos, safety demonstrations, and even in anniversary campaigns. When you see a Lufthansa 747 in its clean white and blue livery, it just looks elegant and powerful at the same time. For many travelers, especially frequent flyers, the 747 means reliability, comfort, and prestige. It's a plane that people remember. Even though newer planes like the Airbus A350 and Boeing 787 are more modern and have better fuel efficiency, they don't carry the same emotional impact. They might be advanced machines, but they don't have the same iconic presence that the 747 has built over decades. The 747 also works as a kind of flying advertisement for Lufthansa. When it lands at an airport, people notice it. Aviation enthusiasts take pictures, social media posts pop up. All of that creates a positive buzz around the airline, without them even paying for extra marketing. It's like having a moving billboard that also happens to carry hundreds of passengers and tons of cargo. But what about the future? Will Lufthansa keep the Queen of the Skies flying? Or is she finally heading for retirement? Like all aircraft, it has a lifespan, and eventually, it will need to be replaced. The older 747-400s are already being phased out, and some have been retired completely. But the newer 747-8s are still in good shape and have many years left in them. These planes were delivered in the 2010s, so they still have a long service life before they become too costly to maintain. In the future, Lufthansa will probably replace them with new high-capacity aircraft like the Boeing 77X, which is designed to carry a similar number of passengers but with better fuel efficiency. However, the 777X isn't in service yet, and it still has to prove itself in real-world operations. Until that happens, the 747-8 remains a reliable and trusted option for Lufthansa on certain long-haul routes. There's also a chance that the 747's time with Lufthansa could be extended. If global travel demand keeps growing, especially in business and first-class cabins, Lufthansa might see more value in keeping the 747 flying. Its large size and premium seating make it perfect for busy routes where smaller planes would struggle to keep up with demand. If you enjoyed learning about it, make sure to like the video. Subscribe for more awesome aviation stories. And tell me in the comments, would you want to fly on the Queen of the Skies before she's gone?